we're going to give ourselves permission to take extreme self-care in September.
Follow me out, down to the bay. Forget all the worries. When you're with me, let every wave gently kiss away some of the hardness from those brief yet gloomy days. Wilderness, we give you our mess. We're so blessed to have you. Anchor our hearts and give us a fresh start. Wilderness, we've come for you. We'll misbehave, stay out till late, share all our secrets as we let.
In my coaching days, I used to do vision board parties. So I'd have a group of ladies or men, but usually they were ladies. We always had maybe a couple guys that wanted to join in, and we would do a vision board. And we created, I'd get these little board. You could use poster board or any kind of paper, really. And the idea is just to make it personal. You can do one for the month, the year. I generally would do one for the year. So I would get a whole bunch of magazines together. We'd put on some music, light some candles, maybe even have a glass of wine. And we just sit down and look through the magazines, and kind of whatever picture just sort of sparks that kind of inspirational feeling. It kind of gives you that little spark inside. You don't want to think about it. You got to get out of your head. It's not goal setting. It's kind of mindless. So you want to get out of your head, and you just go through and find those pictures that speak to you for no good reason. And you just tear them out. I like to tear them out. I don't want them to be too neat and tidy, but if you want to cut them, you can. But you just rip them out and you glue them on a cardboard or a poster board. It can be any size. And I've been doing those for quite a few years for myself. Here's one of the vision boards I've done. I did this one a number of years ago, and it's amazing now when I look back how uncanny like my year turned out after doing that one. I wanted to go to the ocean, so I put a picture of the ocean and walking barefoot, and I actually got to go to the ocean that year. What's really interesting is this just spoke to me as far as home decor, and I bought this, and then, or I didn't buy it, I put this picture here, and then it was about a year later, I noticed that on my table that year, I had almost an identical table runner. And I didn't even plan that. I just found those one day and while I was shopping and picked them up. So, of course, just everybody's got their unique things that they want. And we got to do extra traveling that year, and it was just such a good year for me. And I look back and I'm almost amazed at how that turned out. It was one that I created back when I was coaching. And, I just had this idea that I wanted to make a difference in the world and didn't really know what that was going to look like. So I created a vision board, and that shortly after that, I became president of an international coaching association, and I was able to really make a difference. And that's one of the things I look back on and I'm very proud of. So as I was thinking about creating a vision board, I thought, well, maybe I'll create a vision board for September, for Self-Care September. And being the perfectionist that I am, it's like, okay, started to think of it as a big project. And I didn't really, we had so much going on, and I'm trying to really find ways to be a little more spontaneous. So I thought, okay, this is going to end up being a really ridiculous project for me. So rather than even, because I was going to cut out all these pictures and, kind of create, and I still think it's a good idea. So as I find a picture that inspires me, I'm going to be finding a way to add it to my board this month. But I'm going to have a board specifically for this month. I just went to Hobby Lobby and I bought just a piece of card, one of those little cardboard looking papers, poster board, for a couple dollars. And you can use anything. And I don't have the pictures ready, and I'm like, oh, I got to go find all these pictures now. So rather than worry about all of that, I got my colored markers out, and let me show you. I don't want it out all the time because I won't see it. It'll disappear from my brain. That, you filter it out if it just sits there too long. So every time I open my pantry, I will see it. And it's just a piece of cardboard. And I just wrote a bunch of things on here that I want to include this month as I'm practicing self-care. So, slow walks, feather my nest. That's how I feel like that's what I'm doing. I'm just creating this soft place to spend time and trust myself to know. Like, don't try to overthink it or force it. Allow myself to trust. And I think through my morning pages and journaling this month, I am really just kind of unraveling this kind of ball of thoughts and feelings and all these things that I've been holding on to. They're unraveling. And as they unravel, I'm getting the clarity that I want, that I've been craving, like this sense of peace. Fresh fruits, melons and apples. I mean, I've been eating both of those. Just because John picked up some at the farmer's market on his way back, because it's harvest season here, and we're almost into autumn now. Family time, of course. I mean, I have some opportunities to spend time with family, and I'm just loving that. Spending more time in nature, that just really nourishes me. And like I said, fresh salads, like that's new for me. That's new. I'm surprised by that. I'm going to keep adding, and then as I find pictures, I can always paste pictures over these if I want. I actually took a picture of my salad the other day, and I thought maybe I'll cut that out and I'll paste it over here. But I have the words written to hold the spots, and if I don't have pictures, it's fine. This is just for this month. And I think for next month, what I might do is just flip this over and start another one for October. So let me know what you guys think. You're welcome to try this if you want. It's sort of a very simple way to do my take on a vision board. And I'm going to try this on for the month of my self-care September practice. So it has been quite a journey the last few days. We've had company coming and going. I've got my home. I sort of decorated for fall. I've really been working on that. I really have seen for myself that the way that I set up my home and has got to nurture me, and that is part of self-care. It may sound frivolous, especially I've been looking into this kind of minimal way of living, and looking at what do I need and what do I want to get rid of, and I've been decluttering, and I'm going to continue to declutter throughout the month of September, because that's a big part of my journey right now, is letting go of things that no longer serve me, but also bringing in the fall colors for me, and just watching the changing seasons and allowing myself to sort of sink into that, and honoring what I need, like what I need right now in this season, like this fall season, which we're almost there. I mean, we're into September, is different than what I was needing during the spring. I'm really noticing that, how my needs sort of slightly change a little bit. I keep saying I kind of feel like I'm shedding my skin, like literally, I feel like that's true. Like I'm letting go of the way I was seeing things, and the way even the things I'm wanting are slightly different. I'm not judging it. And they're simple things. I mean, here I'm decluttering, in the midst of decluttering my house. Like, yeah, I went to Hobby Lobby. I bought the that's a flag to go outside. Welcome to the Nut House. I just hung it there temporarily till I broke my flag post that goes on. My garden flag post, it broke. I don't even know how, but it broke. So I've got to get a new one. See my buffalo check rug? So I went to Hobby Lobby and they're all their fall decor was 40% off. So I bought 3 of those and I want to go get another one. I'm loving them. So you guys know I love my buffalo check because it's a base and everything goes with it. So I can have those year round and then just put a few things out for the fall or Christmas. It's like feathering my nest. I've been going through some old pictures and putting pictures around the house again, and just little things that make me happy. That's self-care. That's nurturing. I mean, I cannot tell you when last time I allowed myself to have a muffin for breakfast, or I took the time to cut into a fresh watermelon for breakfast. Some people would say, well, we do that every day. For me, I haven't been doing it. I'm always like, I feel like I'm always rushing. In September, I'm slowing down and I'm really being more mindful, and I'm noticing some new things about me. So that's what I'm doing in self-care for self-care September. And I will continue to work out. I'm using a new app called FitBod. I don't want to say too much about it because I haven't been using it that long, but it basically generates my workouts for me based on what I want to do. And I'm going to continue to use that. So I'm doing 3 to 4 really good workouts a week. I love my books, as you know, and this is another one I like from Julia Cameron, and it's The Writing Diet. Write yourself, right size. So it's really about counting words instead of counting calories. Well, I hadn't even thought of this, but as the more I'm writing, I'm just like, the weight has dropped off a couple, like just the last few days. I'm almost stunned about it, but I don't know if it's the concept from the book, because I have read this book before, but I didn't even think about it till I grabbed my stack of books to share, to just kind of help me through September for self-care. And but she does talk about that in this book, so maybe I'll talk more about this book too. Let me know if you guys are interested. But yeah, there's something about allowing myself to unload my thoughts onto paper. And I've been able to write some little stories and things like that, and some very personal things for my daughter and my son that I would never share in public. But I'm filling out some things. My daughter had given me a couple of books. My husband one and myself one. One is called Mom, I Want to Hear Your Story, and the other one is called Dad, I Want to Hear Your Story. And they ask you questions about your life. And it's really causing me to go a little deeper in my own past. And the morning pages and writing through my morning pages is really helping me to answer these questions. And these are going to go back to my daughter, and she can share them with my son. But it's going to be something I'm going to pass down to them. But those were a gift. My daughter gave one to me for Mother's Day this past year, and then gave one to John for Father's Day. So think about that in the upcoming year, or even for Christmas or a birthday. As a mom, I think it's one of the best gifts I've ever received. I was just amazed that she wanted to hear my story. That really meant, gosh, it meant a lot to me. So, in closing today, I'm just going to share a little thing in my vlog, or this is not in my vlog. So to wrap things up today, I'm just going to leave you with something I wrote in my journal based on something I saw on YouTube the other day, and it just has been like just rolling around in my heart for 3 days, and I can't shake it. And it's so contrasting to where we are in different places in our life. So let's just jump into that. So I'm just going to read this right from my journal. It says, as I was browsing YouTube this morning, I stumbled upon a video that featured 2 remarkable women. The first woman was a vision of confidence, strutting down the street in stilettos and an elegant black dress. She exuded an aura that turned heads wherever she went. While I admired her poise, I also realized that her kind of attention was something I wouldn't necessarily create for myself. The second woman's story was entirely different. She was sharing her final goodbye on YouTube while sitting in hospice care. Her perspective on life, facing the inevitability of her own mortality, struck a chord deep within me. It reminded me that life is fleeting, and what truly matters are the tangible qualities that we carry with us. These two women, seemingly worlds apart, left a lasting impression on me. They highlighted the importance of inner confidence and the perspective we choose to adopt in our life. Okay, that's going to be it for me today. I'm going to continue to do videos through September. I have some decluttering things I'm going to be doing as well. I didn't do a tiny tidy this week. I'll be jumping in with another one of those. So I've got stuff planned for the month. I hope that you'll come along and let me know if anything I've said resonates with you. Are you going to do let's call it a self-care, maybe not a vision board, it could be just a word board, just something that keeps you focused on what you want to create in the month of September. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're doing well. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.
I know you're all about the good vibes.